so this is a group match, which is coming from Group H, I believe, of the Striolated Manakin Mayhem Cup. I hope I pronounced that right. So this is a new tournament that we started a few days ago on the server, and it's a two-stage tournament. So we've got 8 groups of 5 players in the group stage to begin, and then from each group 3 players will advance into a knockout round, and then it will be a best of 3 single elimination knockout from then on, until we get our champion crowned in probably a few weeks' time. So today we have 2 players, as I said, from Group H. So we have funbun and we have MobileBay. So both players, I think, have already played a couple of games in the group. So still lots to play for in this. And yeah, as I said, it's 3 players out of 5 going through. So anything could happen really. But yeah, just a little bit about the 2 of us who will be talking through the game today. So my name is Flan, and I'm joined by my co-host Heartseed. Heartseed, how are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing good. I just got up, but I'm glad this brought me up.
Yep.
If I could interject, I'm looking at Group H right now, and it looks like if MobileBay loses this, he's very unlikely to make it to the top 3 of his group, but funbun still has a chance. So, just a quick update on that. The stakes.
Exactly. Yeah. So the stakes are definitely high. It's only 4 games in the group, so a lot of pressure to win as many games of those as possible. And like you said, as soon as you lose a few games, you start to fall in trouble a little bit.
So funbun or MobileBay needs to win all of his games.
I think really it's you need to look at 2 wins minimum to have a chance of getting out of this group. I think there are some situations where if you have a good point differential, or if you can get a good result on the tiebreakers, then absolutely you're still within a shot of getting through. But yeah, as you said, stakes are high, and hopefully both players will get a good match from them. All right, okay. Ooh. So we've got the starting hand here for MobileBay, who's going first. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's always good to have wetland birds, especially when they're affordable. These are really nice wetland birds, and the star nest is really helpful. Big points. It's just really great. The bonus card is great because he wants to go for some bull nest anyway, and it works out. He doesn't have a forest bird, but there's a tray to pick from. Net looks good. They're all good. So
yeah, I think this is looking like a good starting situation for MobileBay. Like you said, a couple of good wetland birds in their hand. I think the grebe in particular is going to be a really strong start with that star nest. Looking at the first 2 end of round goals that we've got. So I think that will definitely be useful for them. And yeah, like you said, gnatcatcher in the tray. That is a really strong forest bird to get. So I would expect they would look to pick that up. And then they will have a nice start both in their forest and their wetlands, which is so crucial at the start of the game.
Yeah, so I wonder if they keep Willet, they extend their wetland, because it's not a bad card.
No, it's not, and it's 4 points for 1 food, and like you said, it's just that second wetland bird. So whenever you're then drawing cards, you can get 2 cards instead of just the 1. So yeah, I think they can potentially look to get both of those, and then get the gnatcatcher, and that's definitely a strong start.
Yeah, because they can easily pay for the Willet once we have the gnatcatcher down. Assuming they go for the gnatcatcher, right? I think.
Yeah, I think that's the strongest card in the tray for sure, and just the fact that they haven't got a forest bird in their hand. I would definitely lean towards picking that up, especially being able to go first.
And it's a bull nest.
And it's a bowl nest, yep. So that fits perfectly with the bowl nest bonus card that I'm assuming they will look to keep.
And they're keeping the right food for it. Okay, nice.
Yep, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I see they kept the wheat. Wheat is always useful, right? It's not like we're gonna end.
No,
Oh,
no, it's good food to keep. I think
they
that
could have kept the bird that spawns bull nest eggs too. It
that's
would have
true.
been really high value.
That yeah, that would have been
Not
really long
necessary.
term. I think thinking ahead. So I don't mind what they've done. So looking at Funbun's hand, we've got the Franklin's Skull. So
And
that's
cat bird, yeah. So
definitely
that's a
strong.
very
Yeah.
strong engine.
And as well, we've got the Grackle in the tray, and the Grackle works so nicely with the Franklin's Goal because you can tuck any of those excess cards you're drawing that you don't think you're going to play. Obviously,
Yeah.
just for anyone who's not watched any of our tournament games before, we do have house rules in our tournaments here, so that means that the Franklin's Goal can't be played in the first round. So Funbun will still have to think a little bit about how they're going to use these 8 turns, and then we'll look to get the Franklin's Goal down from the start of round 2. But yeah, I think they've got some other good options. Burrowing Owl is not a super strong card, but I think the Star Nest, and combined with the fact they've got the Rodentologist bonus, I don't mind that. I think that's potentially a good keep for them.
Yeah, it's good for first end of round goals as well.
Yep.
I don't hate it.
Yep.
They're going to be struggling on food though, and the only thing that's probably going to be left over is from what they know is either the gnat catcher or a kite, right? So we're going to
Yeah.
be spending a turn to like grab one of those.
Yeah, I think they might have to look at going for the kite, given they've kept the Rodentologist. The kite suddenly becomes
Yeah.
a 6-point bird for 1 food. And the Screech Owl's just come up as
Oh,
well, so that's really
wow.
nice. I think, and as well, that Screech Owl works with the first end of round. So, yeah, I think Funbun can
Even
definitely
better.
look at you can definitely look at getting either the kite or the Screech Owl, and then that'll be the forest
Oh,
built up a little bit. Yeah, interesting. They went for the kite over the Screech Owl.
yeah.
But to be honest, they can probably go for both. I can't see
Yeah.
MobileBay looking to take the Screech Owl because the Gnatcatcher's a strong enough start for their forest.
Yeah, I probably would have just slightly take. It would have guaranteed that they got the screech or the kite if it took the screech. Or not guaranteed, but it's a higher chance, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I mean, MobileBay might look at taking it just with an eye on that first end of round goal. That can be quite a good steal if you can get that first end of round goal win. That's 4 points in the bag right from the start. So, yeah, definitely not one that you'd want to miss out on.
so yeah, even though I have the gull, I'll still want to play wetland herd to you know get myself going. Just
Yeah,
pick
I mean he'll have
so
to play some at some point. Looking at the end of round goal 4, obviously we'll have lots of time to get that down. But yeah, I think it can potentially slow down your progress a little bit in this first round if you do have something like the Gull or the Killdeer and you're expecting to play that in round 2. You don't want to commit too much and spend too many turns building up your wetlands, only to then not use it once you get the Gull down. So yeah, I think there will be at this point probably not worth trying to get a wetland bird down. I think they're better off focusing on getting the Screech Owl, maybe the Burrowing Owl as
right.
well,
Yeah,
and
I
just
think for the
setting
fact
themselves up for round 2.
yeah, I think it's okay just because of a rodentologist. It really
Yeah,
evens it out. So
yeah. I mean those 2 birds, the Kite and the Screech Owl. That's 12 points for the 2 of them with the Rodentologist. So 2 points or 2 food, sorry, for 12 points. That's such a strong start to the game.
yeah, it's right out of the gate too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized something. Uh,
Go on.
okay, they'll survive. It's like eh, if they went Screech Owl first, they could have laid eggs to
Yeah.
put the yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point because the
They could
Kite's
have
only got
saved a
one.
bit of
Yeah, I
time.
think I think their plan was to get the Screech Owl down before the Burrowing Owl, so that then when they gain food, they could get 2. But yeah, I think as soon as they then went to lay eggs, they realised, oh, there's only one spot on the Kite, so it's a bit of a waste
Yeah,
because you miss out on that extra egg.
Yeah, it is a bit of it was suboptimal, but
Yeah.
they're set up good enough that it's you know
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing is that it might cost them the chance at winning that end of round. I think if they had managed to get the Screech Owl, they could have drawn
you're
food,
right.
then
Yeah,
played the Burrowing Owl, and then laid 2 eggs, one on each of those nests.
that's actually a really big deal. So they're
Yeah, that's potentially
mm,
that's potentially 3 points that you've
yeah, it's
missed out
three
on.
points and
Yeah,
a
but
turn.
yeah, but it's an easy oversight. I mean, it's not something that either of us spotted until they actually came to lay eggs. So it's just
Mm,
unfortunate, really, that one. But
yeah,
yeah,
I think me and probably you two, we noticed that Mississippi Kite only has one egg spot, so
mm,
like how are we gonna do? I didn't think it was a problem though, but then I remembered that wait, they need to get
yeah,
eggs to play the fucking bird that they can only put in the forest. So then, yeah, that's a big
yeah,
problem.
yeah. I think it slows them down, by maybe one turn in this first round. But they
Yeah,
they
one
can
turn.
still lay eggs now, and then get the Screech Owl down, and then hopefully they can get the food to get the gull down as soon as possible, because
Yeah,
they need to start getting that down and start activating that, so they can get enough cards.
it's like what if they actually like something that's on the tray,
Yeah,
or like
that's the
they
problem.
want to go out as fast as possible,
Yeah.
right? Pretty feel pretty safe with getting rid
Yeah.
of it.
Okay.
I guess they have a pretty good.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm interested seeing what Mobile Bay's planning at the moment, because they have got quite a strong start. But they did just draw the Wren, which I think is quite a nice card early on. Maybe not so useful for them now because they have got quite a nice wetlands. But I think at this point, their plan is probably just going to be use that wetlands.
I think funbun is going second, isn't it?
Funbun went second for this round, so they will go first in the next round.
Right, right.
So Mobile Bay won't get that first look at the tray in the second round. The Fish
You
Crows
wouldn't
come
be
up,
able
which is
to
quite nice
do
for
much
both
on it.
players. But yeah,
Fish crow. Oh, there's another grackle.
yeah. Well, so that Grackle was in the tray. I said at the start it is quite nice with the gull, but they've not taken it yet. I'd be interested to see if they do consider it. But then again, the Fish Crows come up, and yeah, like I was saying, I think that is a very strong card to get with the gull, because you can get both of those down in your wetlands, and suddenly you're getting food and cards and eggs all at the same time. So you're just saving yourself turns by not having to go to the bird feeder.
Yeah, no, fish crow is big points as well.
Yeah, and I just wonder now if Mobile Bay might look at going for the crow themselves, because I think at some point they might want to start thinking about getting something in their grasslands and start building that up. The Fish Crow's a nice option for that.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah, it looks like they're just going from the deck. Oh no, they have gone for the Fish Crow. Okay, I don't mind that. I think that's a good move for them.
Get rid of sapsucker.
Yeah, maybe I'd probably get rid of the Barn Owl, to be honest. It's probably the weaker of the cards in their hand. But then again, they've got Grosbeak and Sapsucker for the Forest Bird. I think really you probably only need one of those. Once you've got one of those birds down, suddenly whenever you're going to the bird feeder, you're getting 4 food. So I think that's kind of enough for your forest. I don't think you really would need an additional forest bird on top of that.
Okay, so he had to. So that's surface rodentologist.
Yeah, yeah, I don't mind that. I think the Roadrunner's it's not a great card. It's probably not the kind of card I jump to take, but with the Rodentologist, it's suddenly 9 points, and there's obviously potential for more points whenever you activate it. So yeah, I don't think it's a terrible move.
Food-wise
Yeah,
too, so
exactly.
You'll get it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my only concern a little bit at the moment for Funbun is they don't have the food for that gull. So when they go to the bird feeder, they can get a reroll, but it's always a bit of a gamble. You don't know if that fish is going to come up, so it might take a couple of trips to the bird feeder just to even get the food for that gull. but they really need to think about getting that down as soon as possible, because
They
that's
can,
going to really start their engine off.
even if they don't get the food from the gull, if there's some cherries and stuff, it's still kind of worth it for them to start.
Yeah,
That mockingbird, is it? Or catbird?
yeah. So the catbird, like you say, that needs cherries. So I think they could potentially look at getting that down. But I'm not really sure at this point what they would look to copy. Probably don't want to copy the gull because you're just going to get way too many cards for what you can do something with. Okay, the fish has come up, which is nice. So
Nice.
yeah, they can hopefully get the gull down now.
What?
That was nice from the owl and the kite, both being successful from 2 dice. You don't see that very often, so yeah, nicely done.
Yeah. It made up for the EOR that they
Yeah, I
could have
think
won.
so.
Easy.
Yeah, I think MobileBay is looking quite strong for this end of round goal. They've now got 3 bowl nests down, whereas funbun with the gull is only going to have 2. So I think that's looking quite strong for MobileBay at the moment.
Yeah, I think the metal arc is looking decent for these players if they want to use.
Yeah, I mean the thing with the Meadowlark that always kind of concerns me a little bit is, obviously, firstly you're giving eggs to your opponent, but also it does give you 2 eggs yourself, but you fill up those egg spots a lot quicker with the
True,
with the
yeah.
2 eggs you get. I think it's the Cassin Sparrow. Yeah, that's the other one in the tray. I quite like that, especially with the gull, because essentially it gives you eggs that you're then discarding with the gull. So just it softens the blow a little bit there. But I don't mind it for MobileBay as well. Actually, I think that might be quite a nice card to look at to start just building up that grasslands, because they've not really started building that up yet. Okay, it looks like funbun is going to try and get this catbird down. So yeah, they've gone for the food, and they've got most of the food they need for the catbird. So yeah, I don't mind that. I think they might have an eye on this end of round goal as well, potentially with that bowl nest.
Yeah, they have the time for it. So they're probably thinking between trying to guarantee the food for a catbird or using the gull first to know what other food they might want besides the food for a catbird.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, the only thing, just looking at that, they've only got 3 turns left, so they will need to lay eggs before they play the catbird because they've not got any. So I think
Yeah.
even if they gained food now and then laid eggs and played the catbird, that's all of their turns. So I don't think they'll be able to get that down for this end of round at least. But yeah, they might still look at getting that down, and yeah, just hope that they can get something more useful to copy than the gull.
Yeah. The moment they get a tuck and lay egg bird, they're set.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was saying about the grackle earlier. I think that's such a strong card to combine with the gull, because one
Would
thing
you
that
have just grabbed it though?
I think I would have. I just think from experience playing with the gull, you just end up with so many cards that you're not going to end up playing. You get 2 cards every time, which is really nice because you can draw through a lot of the deck, and get to those cards that you want to play. But you do find that you end up with a lot that are just sat in your hand not doing anything. Whereas if you have something like the grackle that allows you to tuck those cards, you get points for the tucks and then you get an extra egg as well. So it's such a strong combination. And yeah, you almost get those points for free because you had those cards from the gull anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that makes it so that you have to rely less on, drawing good cards. Which
Yeah,
is always
exactly.
And I agree with you too, especially because of the cat bird. Um, if it was just the gull, you're slowly drawing, it's not a big deal. But with the cat bird, what you do is you kind of spam power on the gull initially, so you can see more birds
Exactly.
initially.
Yeah.
And at the end, you just trash them all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like you said, I think if you do copy that tuck and lay power, obviously you're drawing 2 cards a turn, but you're then tucking 2, so you're not really getting anywhere. But yeah, you can copy the gull a few times, like you say, see lots of cards, and hopefully get some good ones in there to play, and then yeah, later on just copy the tucking power to get rid of them all.
yeah, because it's nice to have things like the grackle, but if you get it too early, then you're not like. What if
Yeah,
you have like 2 cards you want to keep? And then
exactly. Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna, I'm not gonna spend a turn tucking.
yeah.
So,
You can definitely run into that problem. So
so
yeah, I'm just looking at what MobileBay is drawing, and they're not getting great luck from the deck at the moment. But they have left the Sparrow, which I think would be a really nice card to get for them. It's that second grassland bird, so it already unlocks the extra egg, but it gets another one from the brown power as well. So
people do not believe in the goldfinch.
no, I'm not a huge fan of the Goldfinch.
Yeah,
It's
I
yeah, it's something I
think
might
they
play. I might play if I'm desperate at the start of the game, and if I really need the extra grains. But yeah, at this point in the game, it's not something I'd look at.
it's a nice rail for whoever pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, again, if that Oriole came up in round 1, I think that's almost an instant take. But um, with that star nest, it would have been so useful for those first 2 end of round goals. But it's kind of missed the opportunity to be useful in that regard. It is still 9 points.
Yeah,
So it could potentially be a nice card, and obviously for MobileBay it works nicely with their bonus card. But yeah, I
yeah.
think it might just be a little bit too late to get that one down.
I think it's still quite good. But for a goldfinch, I think the play I do with a goldfinch is an heron, um, and another like I don't know tuck and lay egg bird. I can just stay between, like I can just stay in the wetland for the entire round one
Yeah,
and draw cards and be happy, and just convert that wheat into food that I actually need. So
yeah,
then like, be like forestless for a while, and then you can go to the forest. And I don't know, maybe it has shock value. You're like, oh, surely it's forest now, and we can play a bit different.
yeah. No, I think that's a good point. I think there are times when it'd be useful. And yeah, definitely, like you said in that first round, I think being able to just draw cards for a few turns, and having that luxury of being able to afford doing that, I think you can't really underestimate that, because it's so important to see as many cards as possible at the start of the game. You can't really afford to just sit around if you've not got good cards. I think it's always worth spending those few turns digging through the deck and just seeing what you can get, and hopefully you get some nice cards there.
Okay, so it looks like Junko. That's another.
Yeah,
That's basically a tuck and draw.
yeah. Junko with the Gala is so strong, because not only are you tucking those excess cards that you're not going to play, but you're turning them into food, which you can then use to play other birds. So I think MobileBay's going first. If I was in their position, I would probably take it just to deny funbun from getting it, because that is such a strong card, and I think if it's still there on funbun's turn, I think they have to go for it.
Yeah, I always thought that Junko was like at least even tuck and draw birds. At least sometimes it's better, and sometimes it's a bit worse. But
Yeah, I think in a situation with the gull or the killdeer, I would say it's better, because you don't really need the tuck and draw aspect, because you're already seeing lots of cards from the gull.
or
Actually,
sorry, not tuck and draw, tuck and leg.
tuck
My
and lay.
bad.
Yeah, to be honest, even I'd consider it stronger than that, as well. I think if you've built up your grasslands fully, you can always choose to discard the food for the egg. So
Yeah,
I'd rather have the extra food and then make that decision myself on whether I want to swap
yeah,
it for eggs or not. So
That's why I think it's at least even, or
yeah,
if better.
yeah, I think it's better because you're already getting enough eggs from activating your grasslands. You don't really need the extra one that you get from that tuck and lay.
Right.
What you need is food,
Yeah.
because especially looking at funbun's forest, they only get 2 food a time. So they desperately need something that gets some extra food.
We're not denying it. But
No, they've not. So they got a couple of nice draws. The warbler and the prairie chicken are both big point birds, and they've got a lot of food available from their forest engine. So they shouldn't really have too much problem getting either of those down very soon. But yeah, I would expect funbun here to go for the Junko, just because that is such a strong card in combination with the gull.
so he's probably just gonna grab the. Oh, nice.
These hunting powers have been so good for funbun so far. They've got a lot of rodents.
Junko and whooping crane, right? Oh
Yeah,
no!
they've gone for the cardinal. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, now the Phoebe's come up in the tray. So that's another really strong card to get in the grasslands, and especially with the gull. But even with the fish crow for MobileBay, that's a really nice combination. So yeah, wonder if they'll spend another turn drawing cards just to go for that. But they've already got a lot of cards in their hand, so at some point they'll have to think about actually trying to get some of these down, rather than keep digging for cards.
Surely not.
Yeah, I don't know if they have half an eye on this end of round goal, trying to get as many eggs in their grasslands, but I think funbun's going to have that pretty well covered just from capacity point of view.
Food web looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think food web expert, you'd look to play the warbler anyway because it's already 8 points, and it suddenly becomes 10 points with the food web expert, and it's also going to help with their boldness bonus card. So yeah, I think that makes sense from a bonus card point of view, and yeah, the warbler is an absolute instant play right now. Oh my god, even more hunting success for funbun in the forest. The owl and the kite and the other burrowing owl, they've all been working so nicely this game.
I don't think they do this. No, there's no reason to. But I wonder, like, if they want to try to compete for end of round calls, if they go goldfinch.
Yeah,
because like
I don't know.
is also their bonus card, right? That's the only reason. So
Yeah.
goldfinch afford the whatchamacallit.
Yeah,
It brings that up and it lets them afford that other bird down there. The bonus card, turkey.
yeah. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure they can compete, even if they get enough birds down that have the capacity.
Yeah.
I think if you're funbun, you can. Funbun's still got 4 turns left. You could spend all of those turns laying eggs if you wanted, and fill up those spaces really easily. Whereas if you look at MobileBay, even if they get a couple more grassland birds down, it's only going to give them a couple of turns, so they won't be able to fill up all of those spots. So yeah, I think they do have a bit of a dilemma here at the moment in terms of, okay, do I get the prairie chicken down, or do I go for food and try and get the warbler down? I think they could potentially look at using that fish crow. That will get them the food they need for the warbler, but yeah, I think they need to think carefully about this decision.
Yeah, it's just they have a great. Oh, they're doing it.
They are. They're doing your suggestion.
I didn't think it was a good suggestion. It's just because it works. The only with the bonus card.
Yeah. But then if they are going for that, they need
no.
Yeah, they've got 4 boldness down now. I would imagine they're going to play the warbler for 5. So the only sense that playing the goldfinch would be if you're then going to play a 6th boldness bird, and I just don't think either of those in their hand are really worth playing at this point.
Oh, the ones in your hand? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You could
think
easily afford it now, though. Look, have all the food they.
Yeah, I just think the
It's
goldfinch is not the best play in this scenario because they've already got a really nice forest. They get 4 food a turn from that.
Yeah.
I just think playing the goldfinch,
And they have.
just not. They gained 3 grain, but they had to pay 2 to play it. So then they only actually net gained 1. They could have got 4 if they went to their forest. So I think that's a much better deal.
But the idea is we're moving their
Yeah.
habitat up.
Yeah.
That's the main.
Okay, so funbun has gone meadowlark, so I think they will look to. They could even copy that with the catbird, and suddenly, you're getting 7 or 8 eggs a turn, which is massive. So they will have absolutely no problem filling up some of those spots. But I do think they might need to look at getting some of those other birds down. Obviously, whooping crane is a really nice one to get down. They'll need something in their wetlands anyway for that last end of round goal. But obviously it comes with a bonus card as well, which is nice. And then they've still got the Roadrunner, I think, in their hand, so they will look to get that down for their Rodentologist bonus. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that move for the Grosbeak?
I mean, I think the logic here is because they want to do it for last end of round goal.
Yeah, potentially.
Round. Yeah. So there's reasoning behind it, and that they're basically playing as if they're not going to draw any more cards.
Yeah.
Just playing what they have.
Yeah.
Just their engine isn't that good, so.
Yeah, I wonder as well if they're going to go for food now, and just maybe look at discarding one of their cards to get the extra food. Because I think you're right. They've probably got enough. There's only 7 turns left. They've probably got enough in their hand to play. So I think if you're MobileBay, you look at getting that prairie chicken and that warbler down. So you'll need the food for that. So maybe 1 turn getting food, 2 turns playing those birds, and then just spend the rest of it laying eggs. Because they've got lots of capacity, so they should be able to fill that up, no problem.
Yeah, but so if we're basically betting that surge from all of these birds that they have on hand is enough to beat whatever funbun's going to be able to do for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Could work.
Yeah, it's not a bad strategy. I think when the Grosbeak initially went down, I was a little bit surprised. But I think it can make sense, especially if they're going to draw food and then move it to their grasslands. You're then unlocking that extra egg just from having 4 grassland birds. So yeah, that definitely gives some options. And then, like you said, when they lay eggs, they can move it into their wetlands, and suddenly they've got 3 wetland birds, and they look at funbun's board with 0, and they will feel in a pretty good position for that end of round goal.
Yeah, and normally one of the annoying things about migrating birds is that, like, if you're on the spot, like especially if you're on the 3rd spot, then you get taxed more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's annoying. It's really bad when you actually don't have the eggs to physically put the bird down. But this isn't a problem. You're just we're just gonna move them right there, play the next one, and you don't have to worry about playing any new ones because they're probably not gonna grab anything else, right?
Yeah, it's interesting that they have gone for eggs now, though. I would have expected maybe they would go for the food first, just so that when you move the Grosbeak, you can get that extra egg. But I wonder if they're maybe thinking about just trying to put pressure on funbun with getting eggs down in their grasslands. But with the meadowlark, funbun is not going to have any problems filling up all of those nest spaces in their grasslands. So I don't think MobileBay really can compete for this end of round goal at the moment.
No, that's okay. All they did was they converted.
Did they swap a food or?
Yeah. So they used a food, get an extra egg, and they used that extra egg to swap the food. So.
Yeah, and I think they'll look to get the right food. I mean, they've got enough food for the prairie chickens, so I wonder if they might play that quite soon. And then they can always use their fish crow to get the grubs for the warbler. And then get that down. So, yeah.
I don't know why they didn't. Because they played the Grosbeak, so they will have to touch the forest again.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you play it in the forest, you must have in your mind that you're going to gain food again, because otherwise you'd play it in the wetlands, just at least for that end of round goal. So, yeah, it is.
But why would they need to go to the forest?
Well, exactly.
The food.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they do have enough food really to, they can play the prairie chicken, and then they've got the fish crow to give them food for the warbler. So I think that pretty much has them covered there. And yeah, once they get to those 4 grassland birds, unless they are going to move the grosbeak and then start discarding food, there's no reason to have that extra food if you can't turn it into eggs, because it's just going to be sat there in your hand at the end of the game and it's not going to score you any points.
Yeah, we can probably. I don't know if they'd prefer to get taxed less, or
Yeah.
but they're all the way up top. It's right, just a little that, but
Yeah, I just think if they, if they wanted to save the egg, it could easily have gone in the wetlands instead. That's quite an unfortunate bonus card draw, I think.
that is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
You're counting on that.
Yeah, I think that was probably, they really needed something that was going to get them 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 points from that. They've got quite a few birds down, and I think they've got at least one star nest, so they might have had a chance at some of the other nest ones. But yeah, I think 0 points is definitely not what you want to see.
Yeah, if they just had ground nest. Yeah, so I'm wondering what they're gonna do with this grosbeak, because here all it is just 3 points and satisfying. And I guess it is satisfying. So it is okay. It is, especially because they had the food for it. But it's only worth it. Or you're only able to do this because they played the goldfinch, and playing the goldfinch.
Exactly.
Right. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they're going to get the warbler down, so that is now their 6th bowl nest. But if they hadn't played the goldfinch and the grosbeak, it would have been their 4th anyway. So you're looking at goldfinch and grosbeak combining for extra 3 bonus points. And they're not huge. Yeah, they're not huge point scoring birds in their own right. So I'm not sure that's entirely worth it. But yeah, just so going into this last round now, who do you think's in the stronger position? Who do you think's going to come out on top here?
Well, one did not actually get the they didn't get the Junko, right? And when they use the Metalwork, Mobile will have everything. He'll be able to receive it.
Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to the bonus cards. Funbun is good.
That was.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to bird points, right?
Yeah,
which are both kind of low, so it's hard.
Yeah, I think Funbun's done quite nicely with the hunting. They've got the food now to get that crane down, so potentially.
You're right. I just noticed that's 4.
Yeah,
that's
4 on the screech owl, which you almost never see. But the kite and the burrowing owl have done quite well as well. But yeah, I think they'll look to get the crane down and just hope for a nice bonus card. Again, they've got a couple of star nests, so that unlocks a few options. So okay, Oologist, that's not terrible. I think they've only got 8 birds though, so they won't quite make that upper threshold. But they'll still get 3 points from it. So I think you take that. Playing a bonus card bird at the end, as we've seen with MobileBay, it's such a lottery. You can end up with 0. So I think actually, in this position, getting 3 points, I don't think they can be too upset with that. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I think Funbun looks in the stronger position. I think they've just built up their engine and more effectively. It's going to score more points. Obviously, the gull has helped, so that was obviously a nice draw for them.
So, by pure coincidence, it looks like MobileBay will win this last end of round goal.
Yeah, it looks like the grosbeak's not mattered.
Best efforts.
Yeah.
But I think it still would have been better to have a grosbeak in the wetlands so that they could have played the warbler in the.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because now when they played the warbler, they had to pay that extra egg because there wasn't.
They knew that they weren't going to be getting any more food, right? So it's unless they were expecting free food for this, which is no indicator for.
Yeah, I think if you play the grosbeak in the forest, you plan on taking food again. So whether they just changed their mind and decided, actually, I can get the food from the fish crow, so it doesn't matter actually.
Yeah, I think they changed their mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just looking at the bonus cards, I think on the whole they've probably both balanced out quite well. Obviously, MobileBay maxing out that wildlife Bowl Nest bonus card, but you know, funbun, 8 points from the Rodentologist is so strong, and you know, the 3 from the Ula just helps out as well. So I think they've both done well from bonus cards.
I agree. I think. I think that it's really hard.
Yeah.
They both decent.
Yeah, I like what funbun's done here. I think they've calculated nicely how many egg spaces they're going to have, and they filled up perfectly without any sort of overflow there. So that's always satisfying when you don't have any spaces left, but also you know, you haven't filled up too early and missed out on some eggs. So yeah, that's always nice to see.
I think when Meadowlark when Meadowlark becomes like good is when you have I don't know, like 2 ravens or anything that you're going to be using a ton of eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you need quantity and you don't really care the ratio with your opponent.
Yeah. Okay, so scores are going to come in now. I think funbun is going to edge this. It's quite close on the end of round.
Right.
It might be quite close on bird points as well, but I think, yeah, I think funbun has got more eggs, which could potentially be the deciding factor here.
Right, and
and all those successful hunts. Whoa! Wow, that is super close.
Just barely.
91
he did
to
get
90.
A 0 for his bonus card.
Yeah, I think it did come down to that bonus card. I think if MobileBay had been able to draw a slightly nicer bonus card there, rather than a 0.
If he played his Grosbeak.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that would have saved the egg. So that could potentially have made the difference. But yeah, that is super close game, which is, you know, that's the kind of game we want to see. So yeah, congratulations to funbun who wins this game, gets the upper hand in the group. So, but yeah, well played to both players.